Dear students, so we have seen about stress, emotions, motivation. So now we'll see about attitude and behavior. Have you heard this word attitude? Because generally we use about attitude. Sometimes we tell some people you are having attitude like that. So what exactly attitude is and how this both behavior and attitude connect to each other? How people feel, what they believe is their attitude. So it is difficult to describe or measuring attitude. Definition of attitude. Attitude is the readiness to respond in such a way that behavior is given in a certain direction. So how your behavior has been going, based on that you are responding, and that readiness to respond is known as attitude. For example, have you heard about democracy? We all tell our Indians we are living in a democratic country, for the people, by the people, to the people. So like that we feel that we have a positive attitude towards our democracy. So all the democratic practice we will do because we feel that. So that feeling and that positivity towards that feel is attitude. It is a predisposition. It is already prepared in your mind. It is already there as in your character, and it is a readiness to respond in a predetermined manner to the relevant stimuli. That is attitude. So I always like to give some good examples, sharing some stories. So because people will always love to learn from those incidents. So some life incidents I will just share. How you would like to be remembered. 100 years ago, a man was there looking at his morning newspaper. He was reading his newspaper, and to his surprise, he just found that his name was there in the obituary column. Obituary column means these are the separate pages in the newspaper. In the English newspaper, they have that obituary column where all the dead person's informations will be there. Who is been dead today? I mean anybody in your relatives, in your known people, in politicians, in your public or private, anything. So those details will be there in the obituary column. So he got suddenly shocked. His name is written there, and how it happened? His photo is already, he is live. And the newspaper is reporting the death of the wrong person by mistake. How this will be posed? And suddenly what will happen if suddenly you just remember what will happen if it is for you also? We will land up in shock, right? Then he thought, better he thought in different way. Here is the uniqueness of this personality. He thought I am here or there, and his just second thought was to find out what the people has said about him. So he was a known person, he was a little famous person. So what people told about him, like dynamite king dies. Dynamite like those who are making these batteries and all, no? So such factory, he is having that factory or something like that, and people are writing dynamite king dies. His name is not written, and somebody is written he was merchant of death. So many things were like things were written about his job, his normal life pattern, right? And he was the man who invented the dynamite, and he read the words like merchant of death, and he felt so bad. He just asked himself, is this how I am going to be remembered? Is this the way I am going to be remembered by people? Like I am a dynamite king, or I was a merchant of the death. Then his feelings, because of these feelings, he got touched, and he decided that this was not the way he wanted to be remembered. He just thought that no, I do not want people to be remember me like this. I just want my people to remember in different way. So that is the question. How would you like to be remembered? You also have to think how, or we all should think how people should tell after my death about me. Every people generally tells he was a good person. Everything people tell after death also. But during my lifetime also, I should be remembered by many good things. So he just started to working towards peace. Peace means Shanti, Samadhan. So he just started working on that, and his name was Alfred Nobel. Have you heard about this person, Alfred Nobel? His picture is here. He's very great person. And later there was the government of the world, we all famous about Nobel Prize. It was started based on his thoughts actually, right? So just as Alfred Nobel got touch with his feelings and he redefined his values, and we should step back and do the same. So this is the way he think, because he started working towards peace. He left his job and started working towards peace, and for peace people are getting award in Nobel Prize, right? So always we have to think about our legacy, what we are leaving back for our generation, how you will be remembered. Will you spoken well of? Have you been remembered by yourself? Will you get with the love and respect? Will you be missed? So these all things will come. That is the positivity we are thinking about our life. This is attitude. So this is simple example I am just shared, and we can see about components of attitude. Even in the behavioral outcome also, in the motivation chapter also, I have taught you one diagram like this about connection, then cognition, and affect. Here only I will explain, because I told you like these three has to be very much balanced. I told even about 3H. Cognition means going to our head, our knowledge, our thinking, comprehension. Cognition, not cognition, cognition. Cognition is about that. Cognition H is about your heart, your affect, your feeling, your hand skills, and this is your affect, your heart. This is hand, this is your head, and this is your hand, your heart, like your feelings. These three has to be in balanced. Cognition means your belief towards something, affect means your emotion, and behavior is your outcome, that is your action, cognition. You can say this as a cognition, your action, cognitive. Simple example, people always have attitude towards smoking, right? So this is not a good attitude, but you see how the cognitive component means about the lungs. Have you seen about the various disclaimer before starting any movies? They always show disclaimer that when people are smoking, they show their lungs, how the lungs is filled with nicotine and tar, like that, right? How the lungs got very blackish shading. The same way, we all are aware about this problem. I know if I smoke, I know I have. If I do alcohol, I know I have this type of side effect. So that cognition aspect is there. That knowledge is there in your head, but you have that affect also, that no, if I do smoking, it will affect me. I have that affect, means it coming from your heart, that feelings towards that, then I may stop alcohol. My behavior will be, I should stop alcohol, I should stop smoking, because it is not good for me. But some people may think in negative way also. Nature or characteristics of attitude, because attitude always have a subject object relationship, means it's a relationship with any objects, any person. Because I am having attitude towards my teacher, I am having attitude towards my mobile, I am having attitude towards my house, maybe positive attitude or negative attitude, or attitude towards your learned, which are learned, it is not given by birth. You have learned throughout your life actually, like how to differentiate. Because hunger, we have seen in your motivation chapter, hunger is a motive, right? Because we have learned it is a physiological drive. I should have that hunger. If I feel hunger, that drive will come, then I will search for food, and my preference of the food is my attitude. No, at the same time, I should get very posh food, I should get a good food. Such preference if there, it is an attitude towards that food. It is a enduring state of your readiness. Enduring means permanent. It is a durable. It is a permanent state, because always you are represented ourselves to respond in particular stimulus. See it on diagram here. What is this? This is a burger. Everybody loves to eat burger, especially adolescents, right? So what is your attitude towards that? You are responding to that, because once you have ate that particular thing, then you feel that this is very good. Then every time you have a positive attitude towards that particular burger. Even some example I have written here. A wife may hold affective attraction to her husband even after the sexual tension has been resolved. People are doing marriage, and already in the motivation we have seen sex drive is one of the important drive. So here people will always feel that if I do sex, then I can survive. No, it is a survival for species only. And doing to the sex, we need to marry. Marriage is that a social custom, it is a social tradition, it is accepted standard by the law, by the public. So if you are married, we can do that sexual activity. But after doing sexual activity doesn't mean that husband-wife relation gets difficult or it will get down. No, because they are endurable relationship. Why? Because that attitude they have developed. So that is attitude characteristics. Another one is it have motivational characteristics, because if I am having attitude towards my nation, patriotic feeling, I love my country, I love India, I love America, I love Russia. So many people tell about their country, about their nation, because they are a positive attitude towards that country, or that all motivated them. Maybe attitudes are as numerous and varied as the stimuli to which they respond. So how we are going to respond, that is very important, and it will go from positive to strongly negative. Sometimes it happens like that, because a positive person always shows tendency to approach any object, then he will have a positive attitude. But he want to avoid that object, he will show negative attitude. For example, if I like this type of mobile, if I like iPhone, then always I will have positive attitude towards iPhone. Even though they are having any negative impact, still I will feel iPhone is the best phone, because I have prepared my mind. I always created that stimulus to my mind that it is the best phone. But if I started thinking negative about that iPhone, then every time iPhone comes to me, then I will think, no, this is not a good phone, this is not a friendly user. Such attitude will develop, that will be negative. Why I am giving this example? Because these are the daily things happening in our life. So many things you can correlate with yourself about positive and negative attitude. Types of attitude: we have positive attitude, negative attitude, and neutral attitude. So what do you mean by positive attitude? See, positive means everything is positive. The word itself creates positivity. What giving me positivity? Maybe any person, or maybe any family, or my friends, or anybody is like favorable to me. That is positive attitude. Negative attitude means unfavorable towards me. Maybe I does not like people or objects. I do not like people. I do not like this object. I do not want this. I do not want that. So such type of attitude is negative attitude or unfavorable attitude. And neutral attitude means you are neither favorable nor unfavorable. We are not sure about that. I am in diplomatic way, maybe like that, a little bit favor to this mobile, but not much favor to this mobile, in that attitude. So this is like negative. So but always we try to develop positive attitude, positive response to the stimulus. Now the main important part is how to develop attitude, because these are very important questions. They may ask you questions like how we are forming the attitude, what are the characteristic features, what are the factors affecting attitude. Any type of such question comes, you have to write this only. See, the first point is home and family, because home is the basic thing, right? The first school, we can say, for every child, the first school is his or her home, the family. So child will identify himself with his parents and other members of the family to pick up their attitude. So attitudes developed by the individual, whether positive or negative. So whatever I am getting from my family, if I learned from my family that you should love this person, you should love your relative, or you should love your teachers, or you should love your schools, you should be very disciplined life. This type of attitudes have developed from your childhood. Then you are developing. If your parents are telling since childhood, and your parents are telling, no, you do not like this person, we should not go to your neighbor, then what will happen? Slowly, gradually, we will learn that. That is why attitudes are learned at things always, because we have learned from our parents. Peer groups. So as I said, both will happen from your these different features. Like peer group means your same group, maybe your family friends, or any your same age group friends, your neighbors, your classmates. As a child, sometimes we pick up their attitude of that group. If I belong to one particular group of friends, so whatever my friends have that habits, I may follow their habits, because I am addicted to that group, I am connected to that group, and I feel this group is best for me, so I will have that positive attitude feeling. Or maybe negative attitude also comes from peer group, along from your friends. Conditioning. You have learned in the learning theories, conditioned. Learning theories, hope you remember about conditioning theory, classical conditioning theory and operant conditioning theory. Classical conditioning theory means what happens. Have you remembered the dog example? One dog was there, the Russian physiologist Ivan Pavlov theory, that the dog was not given food. And later they given the food to the dog, then dog started salivation, because that food smell itself can create salivation. Then what happened? Suddenly they stopped giving food, and food was given along with the bell. So one bell was ringing and the food was getting. That bell was a condition to the dog, because dog has learned that if bell gets ring, I will get the food. And later what will happen? They were only ringing the bell, but food was not given. Still the salivation was coming. So sometimes it happens with us also, that conditioning towards to some object, and we are adapted to that. If you are conditioned to your hostel life, the first day of your hostel life you are not adjusting, you are not liking, but later what will happen? You are conditioned to that hostel life, you love that room, and you always have positive attitude towards that room, and you will not change that room. This is a conditioning theory. When a patient life is saved by a particular hospital at critical moments, sometimes has happened, the patient always loves some particular hospital, loves some nurse or like some doctors. Why? Because they felt that this hospital has saved my life once I was in emergency. So they will have a favorable attitude, and every time they will tell that hospital Y is very good hospital. In that hospital number 22 nurses. I just give an example. Maybe A nurse is very good, B nurse is very good, C doctor is very good doctor. So Mr. So, Mr. So, Mrs. So and so are very good because he got good experience. That is conditioning. Another one is physical growth and development. So these all are formation of attitude, because poor physical health or your somatic structure is not developed well, maybe your body is not well developed, then what will happen? You may feel that no, I am not looking good, I am not smart, I am not beautiful, because I do not have eyes, I do not speak, I cannot hear, or I cannot write well, I cannot go and talk in public. So that poor thinking can also may develop negative attitude towards us. Emotionally, emotions always play overt or covert behavior. Overt means open behavior, covert means like closed behavior. Sometimes we do such things as the age grows. Sometimes we show very openly I am happy, sometimes we show I am very sad. So this type of expressions itself, it gives an attitude development in various experience of our life. Social development, because poor social adjustment also people learn, like antisocial attitude. You know, many of the people who children's, they land up in juvenile homes. You know, juvenile homes, like a child it is a jail for children's. चिल्ड्रन का जो जेल होता है उसको जुवेनाइल होम्स कहते हैं, रिमांड होम्स कहते हैं. सो इन द जुवेनाइल होम्स, व्हाई, हाउ दिस चिल्ड्रन आर कमिंग? दे आर नॉट born criminals, but they did some crime. How they did? Because they did some anti-social activity. Maybe their parents have been trained, because they have seen that their parents, especially those who live in slums or those who live in like roads, they do not know how to behave. Sometimes it happens, but I have seen such cases also. Many people are very well standard also, because they maintain their status also. Sometimes they do not do, but some people they do because they follow their parents, or they socially they are not developed. They are not been educated, they have not been sent to the schools, their parents are not trained, so they do not know whether they are doing right or wrong. So they land up in criminal activity, and finally where they will come? To the jail and remand home, because they are picking such social attitudes, because they are not good for them. But some people always pick up healthy social adjustment also, because we have learned in society how to take good things from the society. And that is the ethical and moral development, because we all live with some ideals and values. Because a man who thinks that God is ultimate, then God is the one, will not have unfavorable attitude towards the person belonging to religion other than his own. So some people may not think, because God is only one, I should not think about Hindu, I should not think about Christian, I should not think about Muslim. Every religion is one because God is one. So such type of attitude also can be developed, because we have been trained by our religion that you have to respect everybody's religion, we have to respect human beings, and you have to believe in God. So this type simple examples. Maybe you have learned moral principles in your life also. You have to be very obedient, you have to be honest, you have to be disciplined, because we have been trained that ethical values. So if any situation or any circumstances or any particular moment comes to us, what will happen? Suddenly some people will influence us to do some wrong things. So our mind will not support that, because we have been disciplined since our childhood. So we will not say, no, I will not take bribe, I will not do corruption, because I do not want to break my ethical principles. Direct instruction. Some people will give direct instruction towards attitude formation also, because if somebody is giving about a instruction about how to apply hair dye, coloring to the hair, so we are listening to that class and we are getting a good attitude, then we will do that. Or any class about awareness about eating fruits, eating good food, so any such things, what will happen? You will have a positive attitude. Even many ads are coming in your TV, like advertisements. So that advertisement also can create positive attitude, because we feel that celebrities are doing, your favorite actors are doing ad for that particular advertisement, maybe for any Colgates or any soap or any shower gel or for any shampoo, simple home products I am telling, or anything else, or even some coaching institute also do such things. They will put a big advertisement of the photos of their people who have passed from their institute, and those who are settled, or those who got campus placement, or those who are settled in government jobs. So we will get attracted towards that institution, right? So these all are general things happening, because it may create positive attitude. Modeling. Some people follow some other celebrities or anybody whomever we like, and we started doing. Yes, some actor is doing advertisement on alcohol or smoking. I'm just giving example, okay, not sure. So what will happen? People will say that actor is doing, so why can't I? Because I love that person. That is why this alcohol. So I will have positive attitude towards that alcohol, but for public it is a negative attitude. Satisfaction of wants, because I want something, some objects. I feel that if I get this food, that food can satisfy my hunger. So what I will feel that, yes, this is a good thing for me, and I will have positive attitude towards that food. Prejudice is a symbol word which we use, prejudice. So you can understand the meaning. Pre means just before. Judice means judgment. Prejudice means prejudgment. We are judging the people, object or anything before feeling that particular thing, or before facing, before understanding that. So it is developing about anything without proper information. For example, disliking a doctor or nurse without knowing their abilities, just because of their caste, religion or nationality. No, that doctor is a foreign doctor, he is not an Indian doctor, so he will not be good. Like that we think. This is a bad attitude, negative attitude, because we are prejudged. Or we think, no, that person is a Hindu, I am a Christian, no, I cannot go. Like that, such thinking comes in your mind. We prejudge, because we are judging their caste, we are judging their religion, we are not judging that human being, that moral values of that particular being. So that is not a good attitude. So these were the formation of attitude. How the attitude starting from your home, your school, your peer groups, your conditioning, your ethical values, all those things are formation. How this behavior attitude simultaneously goes, because attitude are influencing our behavior. In the same example of smoking, cognition part was smoking is good or smoking is bad. So I know smoking is bad for my health, and my affect is that I will have a bad feeling towards smoking. And what will be my behavior? My behavior will be, no, smoking is not good, I should not do smoking, I will stop smoking. So my attitude towards smoking will change, and my behavior also will change. So as the attitude, so the behavior. So a person having political party, simple example, a person having positive attitude towards any political party, they always appreciate that function. No, my political party is very good, their ideology is good, their ruler is good, their minister is good, their team members are good, because I love my party. So my behavior towards my party will always similar. So positive or negative attitude towards many things in your society. Untouchability, do not touch this caste people, do not eat with the Hindu, do not eat with the Muslim, do not eat with Christian, do not eat with this tribal people. This type of untouchability or dowry system, people take dowries, dahej, right? From like, if I should get married, your girl should get this much amount of money, girl should give me car, there should give me land, property. So that then only my attitude towards marriage will always be like that. If I marry, I will get money. So that is the attitude I am developing. So it's the wrong thing. Child marriage, since child people are getting settled, they're planning their child marriage also. Remarriage of widow, some people say the widow vidva. So the people say no, if the female gets, their husband got dead, she cannot marry. But some people say she can marry, why she can't marry? So that attitude also starts in our behavioral changes. It will influence by cognitive dissonance as well as self-fulfilling prophecy. Cognitive dissonance means how we are feeling of inconsistency in the feelings or our beliefs, our behavior. Cognitive dissonance. So that will always makes us uncomfortable. One simple example, if a nurse is working in tuberculosis ward, you know about TB. So TB patients, it is a communicable disorder. When the TB patient gets cough, we may also get the same infection from the patient if you are not wearing mask, if you are not properly wearing gloves when you are touching their cough or secretion. So same negative attitudes always we are developed, because we feel that if I am working with tuberculosis, I will get tuberculosis. If many people during COVID times also, when the nurses, doctors, they always have that thought. Even I also worked also in COVID wards. I also thought that in starting phase, if I work with COVID patient, I will also get COVID. So, but later, what will happen? The nurse will not show directly in their behavior, but what they will do, they will try to change that ward from the tuberculosis ward. They will tell some excuse and said, I will not work in this ward. I have some other health issues. I want to work another ward. I cannot work in COVID ward, because in their mind it is the thought that I will get COVID. But in public or into their in charge, they will tell that no, because I have some health issues, so I cannot work. This is cognitive dissonance, because this will influence that attitude we have developed, that will influence our behavior. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Prophecy means taking lecturing or something, doing that attitude, taking class. Like we try to convert our actions into reality. Because a nurse who has a negative attitude to work in operation theatre, they may take it as a challenge. Yes, I will work. If I work in COVID ward, I take it as a challenge. No, I will work, because I am a nurse. I should not think that I will get COVID. Better, I will take it as a challenge, and that positive attitude will come into my action, and that action is behavior. So always remember, attitude will lead to your behavior, because if I develop a positive attitude, then my behavior also will be the positive. As I said, the example about COVID. If I took it as a positive COVID patient, I took it as every patient is similar for me, so I will work with the COVID patient. So my behavior, my action, that is your action. Clear? So this is about attitude and behavior. So how we can change people's attitude through various good education technique, or even you can give fear-inducing mechanism like threatenings or punitive measures. That is also like attitudinal changes. Some people may tell, if you do not follow, no, you have to work in COVID, but otherwise I will not give you salary. Otherwise I will put you double duty. Many things people may threat you, or you feel it as a threat or as a punishment, or some strict rules in your hostel, in your college, or some legal actions will be taken. So that can also bring attitude change. Simple example, a toothpaste advertisement, they carry always a threat. Have you seen in any advertisement, they always have some symbols, there is a technique, their technique in some or other way, they will show that negatively, that first they say the people are having bad odor from the mouth. Then somebody says, you are having bad odor, why can't you try for Close-Up or Colgate or Patanjali, any type of toothpaste, it is good for your good odor, good smell for your mouth. There will be no infection. So from the negative to the positive, they are stimulating the public to use it. So that is the appeal to purchase that face. You know, in the Colgate, how the ad is there, where there is Colgate, there is health. I am giving an example only. It is not compulsory you should learn this example, but you just think that the attitude, how people is changing. They tell, no, advertisements are just only advertisement. They are money earning business. But sometimes we get addicted to those things also, because they are giving fear inducing mechanism. They are giving fear of this like a Colgate. Simple examples like active salt will fight germs, or some people will show about the cigarette smoking also. They will show all this type of tobaccos, like all this. These are not good for health. Okay, do not follow this. I'm just giving as example, because in their pouches also, if you see in the cigarette package also, they also written like very clearly smoking is injurious to health. But at the same time, we are like taking risk towards that. Use of modeling techniques. Some people like to be a model, like they always follow, like maybe serial actors, or their actors, like they're loving actors also. If my loving actor, I like this actor, and that actor is doing smoking in that particular film, then I will also follow the same. Or maybe TV serial or filmy world, or direct personal experience. Anybody is having anything which I have experienced, I have good attitude towards this teacher because I have experience, because that teacher is good to me. So that is a good attitude towards that particular. Bringing desired changes in beliefs and attitudes, because some attitudes are anchored in social norms of the society, and it is very difficult to change. Because I belong to this particular caste, so I can only marry a girl from this caste only. Such things people always tell. Or some Hindu tradition, they treat cow as a goddess, because they have a positive attitude and they will not change that attitude. So these are normal things which are happening in all of every religion. Social customs or social beliefs always have this type of changes, and you can measure the attitude in different way, because asking the people how to question and do the interview. So psychometric technique is this. Once we have seen about attitudinal changes, so how we can measure this? It is difficult to measure the attitude, but there are some checklists, whether you are agreeing or disagreeing, like agreement or disagreement. These are known as attitude scales. This is also very important topic. Sometimes it comes. Even researchers also, people do this, how to like their attitude. For example, I want to do a research study on HIV patient. So I can go like asking people about their attitudes towards HIV positivity. Because once we are thinking about HIV, first thing what comes in people's mind, yes, this person or this patient got HIV from sexual contact. Not necessary. He might have got from some other blood transfusion, or any infected syringe or needle, or anything it might have reached. But our attitude will be like always negative. So that is not a good thing. Being a nurse, in your clinical thing, we always should have a positive attitude. So that we'll see how this attitude scales are developed. One scale is Thurston's attitude scale. The theorist Thurston has given this scale. Simple thing is, they have a true or false question, or agree or disagree response. For example, if this hospital is giving a service towards me, then I have to tell whether the hospital is giving high standard or low standard. If I agree, then I will put tick mark to agree, because some hospital they give a feedback form. Or you know about when you go to some like a hotel, after eating food, they will give a feedback form, and they will tell you to tick in that feedback form, like about the food, the quality of food, or the serving people, about the neatness, cleanliness, hospitality. Then you have to tick 1, 2, 3, or like agree or disagree. So whatever you are ticking, that is like our attitude towards that food or that hotel. People should avoid smoking if they want to remain healthy. Yes or no? Or you agree or disagree? This is attitude scale. And one is Likert scale, which have this scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is not a 5-point scale. Or even 1, 2, 3 are the 3-point scale. Even 1 to 7 is their 7-point scale. Odd number we use because for easy calculation. It is given by Rene Likert scale. They have this value: strongly agree, disagree, undecided, agree or strongly agree. This is an example. If I disagree, that means 1 mark. If I disagree, 2 mark. Undecided, 3. Agree, 4. And strongly agree, 5 mark. Just see one example. You just think. Mobile phone use in campus computer lab should be prohibited. Mobile should not allow in the campus. Simple example. What you will do? Every student will like to put on strongly agree. Is it true? No. Everybody will put on strongly disagree. No, mobile should be allowed. So upon our attitude, there is no right answer or no wrong answer. Always remember, this is our attitude towards that mobile or towards that college. It is the duty of doctors to keep people alive as long as possible. It is doctors' duty to keep the people alive. What do you think? You have to agree, disagree, I strongly disagree. This is a 7-point scale. This is 7 points are there. This is 5-point scale. Okay. So this way different attitudes can be checked and overall calculation can be done, and we can finalize this, that whether it's a positive attitude, negative or favorable or unfavorable attitude. So this is very important chapter. I hope you understood about attitude, because in attitude people may ask you question like define attitude, how attitude is forming, development of attitude, and whether attitude and behavior have any connection, how to measure attitude. So as the attitude, as the behavior, everything is connected. So I hope you understood this topic, because if you have developed a good attitude towards something, our behavior also will be good towards that particular thing. So best wishes for a positive attitude with a positive behavior. Thank you.